James from boats.co.uk, and today I'm going to give you a full tour of this Princess 52 that we've just taken in part exchange. I will give you a full walk through the boat, and at the end I will go through all the costs, how much it costs to buy, how much it costs to run, etc. So let's go. So as you can see, she's quite a pretty boat. It's got the new mid-master cabin glass windows which came out in 2013. And then it was replaced with the blade windows on a much later model, but it's still a very good looking modern boat. So let's jump on board and see the rest. So before we start the tour, my dog is there. Can you zoom in a bit, Carl? My dog is there, the Labrador, playing with the other dog in front of the office. I mean, it's 22 degrees today in Essex. It's really nice. Right. So starting on the back, we've got a high-low platform, which is common, as you know, on boats from about this age, 2015 onwards. They came out before that, but God, he's loud, isn't he? He's really loud. This lifts your tender up and down. Now, the other thing I'd just like to say while we're on the back of this boat is shaft drive. And shaft drive is the proper way to power boats. And I don't want to wind too many people up here, but the hierarchy is as follows, because I've seen other people on the internet. Shut up! On the internet, it starts off with outdrive, which you get boats up to 40 feet. So like the Targa 40 and the V40 of outdrives, boats smaller. That gets the boat out of the water on the plane. The boat's more out of the water, but it's not very controllable at low speed. Then you get IPS, which is kind of a compromise between a bit of shaft drive and a bit of outdrive, but it's got high servicing costs, but it is very maneuverable and it does use less fuel, but it creates quite a lot of turbulence in the marina. So IPS is fine for boats up to 45 feet. And then you've got shaft drive. You can have two types of shaft drive. You can have direct drive, which this is, or you can have a V-box like some Sunseekers. One of my videos has got explanation of the V-box, which is on the Sunseeker Portofino 48, and that tells you how that all works. But this is just straight shaft drive, which is my favourite. And do you know why it's my favourite, Carl?
No, why's that?
Because it's so simple. Engine, gearbox, straight shaft through a cutlass bearing, straight out the back. But you do need to know how to drive one, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. But like riding a push bike, once we've shown you how to do it once, you'll never forget, and you'll never ever look back. So you know, when you have got a big boy boat, you have got shaft drive. Right, so we start off in the cockpit of the Princess 52, which is a really comfortable size. You can see we've got this wrap-round U-shaped seating, and then we've got the two cockpit chairs which fold away, which are quite nice, and it means you can get about 6 people round the table. They've got the recessed stairs with GRP going up to the Flybridge, which we'll show you in a minute. And behind you there, Carl, is the crew cabin. That's the access to the crew cabin where Carl's shoes are. And above us, we've got this big overhang here, which the luff track for the hood sits into. And that means if you're in the UK like we are, and it's a grotty day, you can cover the canvas in there. There's lots of places to grab onto. It's all beautiful Princess quality, made in England, which people love. And all in all, I can't really fault the cockpit. But before we go inside, Carl, I've got some new socks. And these are the James Bond from the London Sock Exchange. And they're James Bond with a Union Jack parachute. And it says, make any entrance to a party with these socks. I don't know many people that walk into a party with socks. But they were given to me by Roger Bennington from Stratton Motor Company, who is a boat owner. And he said, James, I've seen you've had a couple of outings in some of your pairs of socks, so I'll buy you some new ones. So he's got me these. They're very comfortable. Now, Roger sells vintage Aston Martins in Norfolk. You know that, Carl?
Didn't know that, no.
No. So if you're up that way, I think it's Long Melton or something, Long Stratton. And there's a lovely deal there. It's full of lovely old Aston Martins. So if you want an Aston Martin, he's your man. By the way, I have not bought an Aston Martin. I've got my Ford Ranger truck, my old Harley. I'm quite happy with that at the moment. But he is your man if it comes to that kind of stuff. So thanks, Roger. Let's go inside. So when this boat came out, what people loved is the aft galley. Now, nowadays, it's very common to have aft galley. In fact, most of our new airlines have aft galley, like the Squadron 58, etc. But when Princess bought this boat out, aft galleys were quite new. So when this came out, people just fell in love with it because the the galley can serve the cockpit there, out to the seats there, which Carl will show you. And then also the galley can serve up to the flybridge quite quickly because it's at the back of the boat. The other thing is, if you want to nip in for a drink or some food, you're on a wooden floor, so it's just really, really practical before you go into the saloon area, which is carpeted and more luxurious. There's loads of storage. I'm not going to open it all, but there's drawers and plates. I'm not too sure about these plates, Carl. Are you?
They're not original Princess plates, are they?
I doubt it. No, I don't think the team would have signed that lot off. I love also the use of fabrics, which they started to pioneer about this time. So if you zoom into this, Carl, it's like a cord. It's really, really nice, and it gives some texture. Lots and lots of light too. You walk down into the galley, and what I also like is it's got the full size hob and microwave oven and oven. And I think that is the dishwasher, which we've taken out because it probably gone wrong, and they do go wrong a little bit. So I mean, look at the space I've got. It's got loads and loads of space. Twin sinks. I think they put the crockery in here. Sorry, not the crockery, the glasses. They go in there. So, and again, look at these little leather buckles. Just lovely little details, which are really nice. Right, so into the saloon area. You come up 2 steps to go into the saloon. You've got the standard high-low TV there, and all this really nice seating. This can be a dinette, and it goes up and down to make into a coffee table if you're watching telly at night. The colours on this boat are really neutral, so aren't going to upset anybody. We took it in part exchange against a much larger, newer Fairline. So it's a stock boat, so we own it and we can part exchange against it, and we give you warranty, etc. So it's an easy boat for you to buy. At the lower helm, we have got the Raymarine Touch, which they call the hybrid touch. So you can touch it and you can also use the buttons, which is useful. This has got the cat diesels. I'll go through all the spec of those at the end. We've got the shout window, Carl, haven't we?
We have.
But we tried it and it was starting to play up a little bit. So what we're going to do, we're just going to shout in here. So are you ready? Get the fenders in! Now no one can hear us today because we couldn't get the window open. So sorry about that. Just going back to the dashboard, it's really well laid out. You've got proportional thrusters. If you just look how comfortable I am there with the throttles, everything's at my fingertips. Non-glare dashboard. We've got a 2-piece windscreen. More modern boats now have single-piece windscreens, but I've got a good view out. Now, I would only really drive this boat from the lower helm if the weather was bad, because actually, if it's nice like today, you'll be driving it upstairs, and I'll show you that in a minute after I've showed you the accommodation. So, Carl, if you come down here, as you walk down, we've got all the trip switches. It looks really complicated. It's not. It just turns your batteries on and controls the power on and off the boat. If you buy a boat from us, we will show you everything. We give everybody a handover on the boats, and we will help you 7 days a week, 363 days a year. That's Christmas Day I have off, and Boxing Day. And you do as well, don't you, Carl? But the rest of the time, we will help you. So 3 cabins. So I think we'll start off with the master. So this is a mid-master boat. So we come back on ourselves underneath the saloon. We've got the big windows here, which we've got the blinds down because it's bright today. But actually, it's quite a lot of space for a 52-footer. And in 2013, when this boat came out, this one's a 15, but when it came out, this was kind of revolutionary. People weren't used to having this much headroom. Look how much headroom I've got. Got loads of space, loads of storage. Now, the other thing I like about this boat, because bear in mind it is 10 years old. What are we, 2025? Yes, 10 years old. And I've just got to be blunt with you, and I know you're thinking the same thing, Carl. When you come on some of the older boats, they sometimes smell, don't they? This one doesn't smell of shit. This one smells nice, which is a good start. So as we walk forward out of the master cabin, we've got the ensuite here, which is the shower and the toilet and the sink, and it's all really nice, and it's got the little Perrin rose sinks, which I've always loved. And then we've got a couple of steps forward, and we go into the VIP, which is your best friend's cabin. Again, a really good size. We've got the old-fashioned, elliptical windows. We've got a nice sun hatch, really good wardrobes with mirrors on, and the mirrors aren't looking too bad. Have a look in the wardrobe there, Carl. This boat has got air conditioning and heating. It's got TVs. Who watches TV in their room? Do you? I don't. I just fab on my phone, don't you? There's the day head, which has a Jack and Jill door into the VIP. I tell you what we haven't done for a while, Carl. I haven't done the floss test. Let's have a little look. See if I can. Let's have a look. We haven't got a towel, but I'll pretend I've got a towel. So let's just see. I can. Yeah, I can do that. And yeah, I can do that. It passes the floss test. Don't you love this floor? It's like 5-star hotel floor. Heated towel rail as well. You need that in England because otherwise your towels are damp. So let's look at cabin 3. So cabin 3 is a twin. Got a big wardrobe. And we've got, have we got TV? No TV in here. And I'm pretty sure these beds slide together. 2 portholes. That accesses the dashboard if you're so inclined. But actually it's got loads of headroom. So it's quite nice from that regard. So let's go and have a look at the Flybridge. Okay, so we're on the Flybridge. And the first thing I personally think this boat could do with, and we can fit it, is a teak floor. Because it's quite reflective, isn't it, Carl? It's bright. But we can add that if you want it. It's got the big teak table. We've got the barbecue there, which Carl will just demonstrate. Because I'm trying to stay out of the wind. And then the sink as well. Yeah. All right, Carl, we don't need a full demonstration, mate. Lovely dashboard, which is a copy from downstairs. And if you look over the bow, Carl, you'll see it's got great visibility from up here. We've got a bimini hood, which is a powered one. And do you know how I can tell it's powered, Carl? Because it's got that big round bit there. And that big round bit is the motor. And then behind me, we've got the very low radar mast, which makes the boat look really pretty. But one thing I must say, there's acres and acres of space up here, and it is only 52 foot. Right, this is the crew, but it's being used as, actually this has got the storage room. So this hasn't got the full crew, but we can make it a full crew if you want, or it's a good storage room. Okay, so into the, I just realised I did the okay so there, which everyone takes the mick out of me for. Down the ladder, which is quite steep, into the engine room. And there we have the Caterpillar diesels. And I'll go through all the running costs of those in a minute. But yeah, really, really spacious. There's the air conditioning, there's the charger, there's the bilge pump system, there's the Onan generator, and there is Carl. Okay, so Carl's going to move me to the left or the right of the screen, and we're going to put this stuff on the screen for you. So section 1, buying the boat. This boat costs £799,950 EU and UK tax paid. Very unusual. This boat was bought new in the UK by a UK owner. They paid UK VAT. It was then in Brexit. It was in the EU at the time of Brexit, which gave it EU status. And obviously it had already UK VAT status. So unusually, this boat can travel to the EU, tax paid and the UK tax paid. If you need more information on that, do ask us. We are experts and we can tell you the status of each boat and what you can and can't do, because it can be complicated and it is on a boat by boat basis. Deposit, if you put 30% down, that's 239,950. The finance advance is 560. The payment per month on a 15-year mortgage is 5,616. And that's a straight line repayment at 9.21% APR, which is correct as of May 2025. And the finance per annum is therefore £67,392, but that does include repaying some of the capital. Section 2 is fuel, and Carl's got me on the left or the right? One of them. Okay, so this has got the Cat C12s, which generate 715 horsepower each. They are shaft drive, which means you're a big boy. And at an average speed of 20 knots, these engines will burn 140 litres per hour combined. The fuel price for May 25 is £1.45 a litre. The cost per hour is therefore £203 for both engines. Remember, you've done 20 nautical miles. An average use of 50 hours per year, which is what the average boater in Europe does. I don't know what you like over in the States. You might do more, but that's what the Europeans do with these boats. They're on the boats more than 50 hours, but the engines are running 50 hours. You're looking at about £9,800 per year for all the diesel. Okay, section 3 is fixed costs, and above me is an EasyJet landing at Southend Airport. It's quite noisy, isn't it? Section 3, fixed costs. What time is it? 1:45. That's the 2 o'clock flight, Carl. You're on that tomorrow, aren't you? 7. Section 3, fixed costs. Berth. These are UK berths, £13,000. Servicing, we've only got 2 engines. You've got no outdrives or IPS to service, so it's £5,000. Other maintenance, polishing, anti-foul anodes allow £5,000. Insurance, if you're not a bad risk, then you should be about £3,000 per year. Gives you a total fixed cost of 26k. Section 4 is variable costs. So this boat is 799. So how much are you going to depreciate? I've estimated about 35,000 in the next year. Fuel, we've done that, is 9,800. Finance, we've done that, is 67,392 per year, including capital repay. So you've got a cash burn of 112,192. So section 5, the last section, is JB's measure of pleasure. Accommodation, 3 cabins. I think there's loads of space. 52-footer, 9 out of 10. Style, we'll show you an outside picture now. It's quite a good looking boat. It's 8 out of 10. Fun, it's actually a good fun boat because you can get so many people on it. And just think about the parties. 8 out of 10. Running costs, I think, are quite low for a boat this size because of the shaft drive. 8 out of 10. Quality, well, it's your typical British quality, like you get from Sunseeker, Princess and Fairline. So I'm going to give it 9 out of 10 for quality, which gives a total JB's measure of pleasure score of 42 out of 50, which is 84%, which is very, very good. Now, normally at this point in the video, I cut to an outtake of me tripping over or doing something silly on the boat, but instead this month I've got an apology, and the reason that I'm apologizing is because I have been, or we have been, haven't we, Carl, extremely busy with the new Fairline owners sorting out all the boats in production, and we've been extremely busy selling boats because it's our busiest time of year. So I know some of you don't think I do, but actually I do have a day job, and it is buying and selling these boats and delivering them all over Europe. And I would love to do many, many more videos, but each video takes a chunk out of the day. And I promise I will spend more time and find more time to do these videos, because when we do them, we have a good laugh, don't we, Carl?
Yeah, we do. Great.
Over and out. Oh, don't forget to subscribe and press the like button, because the algorithm